Hi, and welcome to today's episode of the Property Pod. I'm Libby, and today I'm joined by Anthony from New Anglia Growth Hub. Welcome to the podcast. Thanks for coming on.
Thanks, Libby.
And we're going to be speaking about grants for small to medium-sized businesses and also skills for medium-sized businesses and like the basics of that and what you should do. So thanks so much for coming on. It's great to have you here.
Good.
And tell me a bit about New Anglia Growth Hub.
Yeah, so New Anglia Growth Hub has sort of been around for the last 6 or 7 years, and it's established in terms of being a portal of information for businesses. Could be grants, it could be skills advice, it could be other things. So we sort of listen to the client and then see how we can help them in different ways. And just to say that it's a free service. Yeah.
Okay, great. And what financial support is available for small to medium-sized businesses?
So there are various grants and funds that come in, and then at the end of the session, I'll share a link for the website. But it does give an understanding of where those grants possibly are, and the gift of the Growth Hub in terms of having an advisor there for you as a business to talk through what you want to do. So it could be road to net zero. Are there grants available for that, or is it to do with specific growth within the business? So they are able to advise on that. My brief is more the skills side, but I'm happy just to share what I know just in a brief outline this morning. Yeah.
Okay, great. And different sectors face different problems when trying to grow their businesses. How do you cope with responding to the diverse range of problems there?
Yes, obviously the key thing is the initial, what we call a diagnostic conversation, just to see where the business is at. And within the Growth Hub, we in the past we've had something called peer-to-peer networking, which worked really well during the pandemic, whereby businesses could engage with similar sized businesses, obviously in different sectors, but have that sort of camaraderie to sort of bounce off ideas as well. And then alongside that, the Growth Hub was able to bring in professional experts around different pieces around growth, and then input them. And what was then created was an alumni group, which could then sort of relate offline about different things. And obviously, some of those alumni groups are still going, so it has sort of a legacy as well. Similarly, we have something called it's called Scale Up New Anglia, and that's about a business that has had projected sort of year-on-year growth over the last 3 years, 20%, and also going forward. And they need specific help in terms of how they can scale up. So again, there's a program around that, and again, creating a core group and then giving input by various experts about particular growth, and then seeing how they go. They can then progress onto Goldman Sachs and other sort of growth initiatives, so that they can graduate out of that from the Sooner Group into other things. So there is a route of progression through that. So it gives businesses exposure to think, well, I'm not alone, I can do other things, and also have a group around me plus experts to help me answer any questions I have. So that's been really key, I think, for some growth businesses that are into high growth. Yeah.
Yeah, it's good to have that like network of support around you, because I feel like a lot of people think they can do it themselves, and you can, but I think it's a bit more stressful and it's a bit more sort of problems that you might be able to like not face as well if you had you guys, or like a network.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, definitely.
Those businesses that have more of a social capital around them are more resilient, are more sustainable, because it's who they know within the business realms. People have wheels within wheels of their influence and their networks, and that's having that knowledge is key in the business growth and resilience. So yeah, it is really key. So that we try to foster those relationships and develop them where we can. And
I can
say, the business advisors also have, they've got wealth of experience as well, just to have that sort of sounding board in the conversation, in the diagnostics thing. Well, where do you really want to go with that? So I think it's useful to have that sort of impartiality as well, because we are a free service. We are there to prosper businesses and obviously the local economy as well. So it's a win-win. So it's a good conversation to have.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. And what are the common problems that all businesses face that you can help with?
Yeah, so common problems, obviously we just come out, or we're sort of in that post-pandemic phase now. The phenomena, I think, has been, how do I remain resilient? And for businesses that weren't, it suddenly has sort of taken them by surprise. And one of the phenomena that's come out, which CBI have researched on, is this phenomenon called the Great Resignation or the Great Disruption.
I've heard of that, yeah.
Whereby suddenly maybe people have been on furlough, the employees, and thinking, well, I don't want to do this anymore. What else can I do? So they've left the sectors. And then the other phenomena is we are living longer, but there's less people in the workforce. So the people may have gone to semi-retirement or retirement early, and suddenly sectors are then devoid of people. And obviously some sectors like hospitality and visitor economy, they've been impacted because that really impacted their business because we weren't allowed to go out and engage. And therefore there are some big gaps in terms of human beings. And also because there's a competition for the human being, the human resource, then people are sort of pulled off in different directions with different incentives, and it leaves gaps. So that's been a key thing. And I think one of the CBI things, it was within manufacturing industries, 42% of the businesses were really worried that labour and skills shortages were going to impact on the growth going forward. And they've been doing this survey for a long time, over 50 years, and it's the worst it's ever been. So
right.
It sounds a bit gloomy, but if we know what the reality is, then we can try and think about that. And I think the key message for HR or business owners thinking, well, how can I retain? So what are some of the things I can do? How can I attract? I think it's being more flexible, because pandemic has made us more flexible in terms of, are we hybrid? Or obviously some sectors can't do that, but it's a big thing. And I think if businesses are aware of that, it's not just them. It is an industry-wide, sector-wide challenge to get people back into the workplace or attract them over as well. Yeah.
I don't know if you guys are finding, but when you're looking for new, you're helping to help businesses attract new staff members. Do you sort of know if it's because of like the pay, or is it because of the flexibility? Is there more flexibility that people are after nowadays, do you think?
Yeah, I mean, it would be more flexibility. And I think employers are thinking, well, they need to think, well, how can we be more flexible? Because there's the sort of fourfold thing. It's obviously attract, recruit, retrain and retain. That's sort of a common sort of solution in terms of how do you get more people in. So just looking at those things. So so to be more flexible, to be more listening, and also talk to your employees and saying, well, how do you think we can do it? So it's not just a management thing. It's about that collective and collaborative approach across that. So have that conversation with your employees to see how things can change in order to retain people, because that's going to be a challenge going forward, I think.
Yeah, definitely. I think the pandemic's changed sort of everything. And how I was saying earlier before the podcast, just even down to the way that we dress at work and the way we interact at work is just so different. So it's good to have that sort of network of people to help you with that sort of stuff. Yeah. One
thought for this podcast was the future is not what it used to be. So okay, but it's true. It's
so
not,
true.
It's not the same old, but it's different. So how can we be different? But there are solutions out there, to do that. So
it's like the new normal. Yeah, definitely.
The new normal. Yeah.
And how do you help people from different social backgrounds and that have different skill sets to progress within business?
So we engage businesses that are sort of 12 months plus been established. We don't deal with startups, but we can signpost people to other organisations like Mentor that deal with that. They're very good at embracing that, and then we'll take on businesses. So as I said before, we are impartial. So we'll listen to the businesses that engage with us and just see how we can help them. So there aren't really any blocks or barriers. It's about how the business is and how we can help them either through the conversation or through signposting as well. Yeah,
definitely. And do the age profiles of your clients require a different approach in terms of representation?
So not really. I think it's the advisors are experienced, and then obviously again goes back to that dialogue, the initial conversation. So there's no bias. It's impartial. So it's about that first conversation really. So I don't think that. And obviously, if we were doing a presentation or an event, then we obviously would look at the DNA or the makeup of who's there and maybe appropriate that. But we would work with presenters that would want to accommodate. If it's a younger audience or an older, it depends. Obviously, with say like with Sooner, the audience is very much about scale up and serious kind of thing. So we'll match that to that, and then we will maybe do a more general event. We'll make sure we've got enough people according to the demographic to engage, as it were. Yeah, but the presenters are normally on the money in terms of that anyway. Yeah, so I think we try and think as much as you can. But obviously, we're always open to learn. We can obviously the feedback form is important, so we take those suggestions forward into the next event. Yeah, so.
Yeah, okay, great. Yeah. And how do you rate the importance of social media in terms of growing a business?
I think it's an interesting one because it could be Marmite. Some people love social media, some people don't. Obviously, I think it's horses for courses. Again, it can be a window for your business. So again, it's how you manage the window, and obviously, but it's also another thing to manage at the same time. I think LinkedIn is very good in terms of the business to business as
definitely.
well. Obviously, Facebook Marketplace has a place in terms of selling products on, and obviously, Twitter's been in the news recently. Again, that's mainly ad driven for their sort of revenue. So again, it's knowing whether it's the value you get from subscription to Facebook, Twitter, etc. is obviously getting the revenue stream that you want. So again, it's managing and monitoring. Yes, if you don't manage it, you can't monitor it. Don't monitor it, you can't manage it, kind of thing. So again, it's not a magic bullet. It's something. Again, it's a device to bring footfall to your business digitally. Yeah. So I think maybe more people are more digital savvy. Certainly, there's a lot more online buying. The digitalization's big. That's another growth strategy out there. So it has a place, but it's one tool in the toolbox rather than
the main thing.
The main thing I think is the customer service, understanding your customers, and obviously, as we've said earlier, looking after your employees as well.
Exactly. And what are the criteria for applying for a business grant?
So criteria, obviously there are T's and C's in any sort of contract arrangement. So it would be filling in an application form and then supplying accompanying documents like your management accounts, your balance sheets, etc. So the panels that then make decisions on grants then make a decision with their due diligence, with the best information, so that you'll then go through a panel, you're then approved, and so that if where there would be an audit, that there'll be an audit trail to say we've done our due diligence, you are who you say you are as a business, and it is the money that you've received is for what you asked of it. So if it's a road to net zero type grant, you want an electric vehicle, and then it's proving eligibility and suitability, but also credibility that you've actually gone out and bought an electric vehicle rather than a diesel van or something like that. So it's having that paper trail which is shows the authenticity in it. So it is what it is. So there's always T's and C's. There's no such thing as free money, but you have to prove who you are, etc. So the expectations really, yeah.
Yeah. And do you think the success of New Anglia Growth Hub is an example of the success of your improvement programme?
Yeah, I think on the website there are some case studies there about how business help. It also gets into the local papers like the East Anglia Daily Times, etc., of where Growth Hub has helped a business, etc. So so we have a track record, and I can't remember the figures, but I think it's something like 1.3 million grant has paid out early on in the year for a specific grant program as well. So we want to be agile in terms of when the money is available, then obviously to let people know, and then help in the process of application and getting the money to where it's needed within the business. Yeah. So as we know, with the pandemic, there's been a lot of business help through the Treasury, and so that's helped. We also then money is then allocated to say a local district level or a county level, and we're told of that, and we want to then let businesses know that there is funds available to help that. Yeah,
definitely. Well. Okay, great. Well, thanks so much for coming on today. That's been really informational. And for all you guys at home, if you did enjoy this episode, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one.